Hello, Leo, my sweet pussycats. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So, Leo, I'm sorry, I just sneezed. I decided to light a sweetgrass incense, and it made me sneeze. So I'm trying not to sneeze again. But what I want to say is I've had this really weird compulsion to do a reading style that I haven't done in a while. It's actually the style that I used to do when I sort of started this channel so many eons ago. And it's kind of like, I like to call it sort of like a pyramid. I'm going to start it with four tarot cards. There's going to be 3, 2, and a 1 at the top. I will show you each card. You will not see the entire spread, unfortunately, on the table. I've tried to angle it, actually, cut off a bit of my head to show you as much of the table as I can. We're going to use the Good Tarot. The Good Tarot is calling to me. And I'm going to pull out from my, here, I'll show you, because so many people, even if I say what it is, they're not sure what this deck is called. Eleki. Jeez, I don't know why it's going like right into my face today. It just seems like whenever I try to set something up, it's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice mood. No. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull these cards out, and we're going to see where they go for you, Leo. We're going to see what the message is for you. There is an extended at the end of this as well. I'm going to continue to pull out cards from whatever message is developed here to look more into the future and get more advice for you moving forward. The link to that will be at the top of the description if you were drawn to it. I'm just doing one more pre-shuffle. I kind of actually feel like taking advantage of the fact that we have some of the smudge coming right in. I already smudged the cards. Let's do it again. All right, pussycats. Leo. A card from the Alki deck is the main indicator for the energy of this reading. And look at that. What do we have here? She who battles justice, fierce, and commitment. Wow, you've been working hard on something. There's something here that you're working hard on, or at least there could be a battle going around you, some sort of conflict. It feels like you're kind of in the trenches. I'm hearing it feels like you're in the trenches. So let's see. What does the Good Tarot have to tell us? As I said, I'm going to do the pyramid read. And I used to do that. Well, I could still do it with my Dreamscape Tarot. No, Tarot of Dreams. Tarot of Dreams. But this, I feel like doing it with the Good Tarot. Because of the imagery depiction, there's going to be a little more to the story than just what the cards typically tell you from tarot. And we are starting with the Magician. Wow, he was on the bottom of the deck when I showed you the deck. The King of Earth, the Sun, the Ten of Earth. Wow, you're in the trenches. You're building good stuff. Transformation, the Two of Air, the Hermit, the Page of Air, the Page of Water, and the Nine of Fire at the top of your pyramid here. Okay, I'm going to show you each card, and I need a second. The Magician, King of Earth, the Sun, the Ten of Earth, Transformation, the Two of Air, the Hermit, the Page of Air, the Page of Water, and the Nine of Air. Fire. Sorry, fire. Nine of Fire. Nine of Fire. Now, one thing, and you can see it, and actually it does sit kind of front and center here, is I find it when I do this, my pyramid reading here, there's some sort of important message with the middle card. And for me, the middle card is what card has the opportunity to sit front and center middle. It is in the second row of 3, this middle card of the Two of Air. And this Two of Air, to me, reminds me of trying to rebalance some sort of an injustice. And that injustice is trying to be rebalanced through some sort of communicative process with the birds. I feel like it's almost like scales, like trying to weigh something out that's going on with this card. It is sitting right in the middle of the reading. Interesting. And it feels like the overall energy is something to do with being in the trenches. Being in the trenches and some sort of balance, an injustice. And on either side of the injustice is transformation and solitude. Okay, the Two of Air, this card for me, the injustice, an injustice in some sort of communication, a transformation, and the Hermit. So there's no communication with the Hermit. So sort of trying to transform energy. Trying to transform energy that could turn into communication down the road, that could bring some sort of justice forward, but you're in the trenches right now. But, so to me, the base, here is the base. We have the Magician, the King of Earth, the Sun, and the Ten of Earth. Wow, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, I'm also hearing that there's something important to take note between masculine and feminine energy depictions in here. So I'll see where that goes. The Magician and the King of Earth are the only ones coming through right now. They're showing me masculine energy. This is very wise. Both these energies come forward as very, very wise. The Magician has the Sun in his hood. I never noticed that before. So I don't feel like, okay, the Sun is your card in the tarot. We'll just say that right up, obviously. If you're a Leo, you're probably fairly familiar with that. The Sun is a lot about self, the exploration of self, finding self, allowing self to be truly released here in your lifetime, which gives you enlightenment. It gives you the ability to exercise your life that feels the most comfortable, your happiest days, your most fulfilling and abundant days. You're manifesting this right now, but there's something that ties you very strongly to the earth. And it doesn't feel like it's a really powerful energy, but it doesn't feel, and it feels like, because it's the base, it's where you are to me. It's where you are. And it is you're creating two elements of the Sun here. You're creating something that's still sort of within your mind. There's two things going on. There's a couple of things here going on. In the center of the reading, there is something about trying to bring some sort of injustice, an imbalance in communication, trying to transform it, perhaps from where it's been imbalanced to the point where there's actually nothing. There's nothing. But you're working on making something. I feel like you have made something in the three-dimensional. That's what's going on here. There's something in the three-dimensional that you're having success with this Ten of Earth. And it could be like not just for you, but for others. But there's something here. This feels more like a personal element in the middle. And this Magician to me feels more personal. This feels like almost having to put on like some sort of airs or a persona, a personality. It could be like going to work. It could be, you know, who you show yourself in front of your family as opposed to when you kind of let loose with your friends or a really close friend. There's sort of the difference where the Magician to me feels more like you. This feels more like you, but right now it's in some sort of a very earthy energy. You are accomplishing something quite great though. It's quite great and it has quite a bit of importance, but it doesn't feel like you attach to it on your personal level. The middle row is your personal level where, see, this reminds me of like the Magician and the Hermit. Like, I feel like this is you. It's kind of like you're out there, but you're not. There's something else here that you're working on. Like if people were to walk by and say, oh, wow, look at Leo. Leo's like really gosh, Leo's so great. They're managing something really well. Whatever element of your life, work or home, you're managing something, or you're being a really good support, not just support, but this is leadership with the King of Earth and the Sun and the Ten of Earth. It's really spectacular leadership, and it's through, boy, I mean, I'm looking at this king too because he has such a large rack like on his head, like, so, you know, and as with age, all bucks or all stags, whatever you want to call them, they develop more and more points on the rack with age. So I'm feeling like there's a lot of experience that's having to come into play here to creates a better day. That's what I feel like. It creates a better day than what it could have been. But there's something going on, like this magician. It's almost like you behind this closed door in hermit mode. And it's another part of your personality. Another part of your... Actually, I don't even want to say personal life. This almost doesn't even feel personal life. But it could, like... It just doesn't feel like it to me. I don't know why. It feels like something outside of your personal life, where the magician and the hermit is your personal life, and there's some sort of transformation. You are witness to something. This is what this feels like, being witness to something with this magician card, yet it doesn't seem like it because you're behind closed doors. That's what this feels like too. Like, because the Ten of Pentacles is usually about a building. It can be about some sort of a structure where a lot of people reside. So it could be your home. It could be work. I'm telling you, I'm having the clutziest week of my life. Please bear with me. I am. I just bumped my head bad, bending down to pick something up a few minutes ago. Oh my God. So but you're behind closed doors. So almost like behind closed doors, yes, there's something that you're doing. You're making the day a hell of a lot better than it could be, or could have been if you weren't there. And it feels like you're able to make it better than what it could have turned out to be based on an awful lot of experience from the past. And this could even be things that you've done in the past that you didn't even anticipate would come into play, or you would bring them all together in this way. A good example of that is, to give you an idea of what I'm trying to say here, myself, I've done like so many different things in my lifetime. I've taken so many different little courses and classes and this and that. And I learned how to build websites from scratch. And I've learned, I don't know, I've done so many different things. And then I remember there was one thing I was doing at one point in my life. And I thought, oh, all those things that I didn't know why I was learning them. I just was curious and wanted to do it. I'm applying all of that knowledge right now to this. And if I didn't have that, I would have needed to have hired this person and that person and this person to bring all that together. But I didn't need to do that because I've been kind of accumulating that. That's what this feels like. You kind of accumulated a whole bunch of knowledge and experience over the years, and you're utilizing it right now to make things a hell of a lot better than they could be. That's for sure. But now, this is where we come out of that. I'm going to come out of that now. I think it's like toot toot your horn for whatever that is. But there's something else here, and you're behind closed doors, which I think is partly immersed in whatever you're doing down here, utilizing a lot of your skills that you've picked up along the way. And this transformation with the Two of Air. It's very childlike. It's very childlike and innocent. Boy, it sure is different from what's showing up down here. But this feels like you. I know I said like there's something about the masculine and the feminine in this. But this sure feels like it's the little girl inside of you. And whether you're a man or a woman, I just want to say it's kind of the really innocent, playful, and when I want to say little girl inside all of you, like, and a lot of men may not even be aware of this, but this is something that like feminine energy, to me, like a little girl is someone who's very still innocent to the possible dangers of life. I mean, let's be honest, there's a hell of a lot more male predators than female predators out there, and females are usually the ones that are the target of a male predator. So not that that's happening here. I'm just trying to pull in for you the innocence where there is sort of that not knowing yet, like very curious about something and kind of wanting to nurture it and be delicate with it and almost being exposed in yourself. That's kind of what this is. There's nothing here. I don't feel like there's any sort of mask with what sits inside this is you. I feel like this is all you on some other element of your personality, your persona, your life. And yes, you bring an awful lot of wise energy to the table, and you're creating something, some other element of sun for you. It's, if this is your work, you're like, you've accomplished something, you're accomplishing it. If this is though personal, and it feels like hermit, like this is on the other side of the door, you don't go there. People don't go there so easily. And within there is this something exposed within yourself that's almost been left untouched. Yeah, there's something within you that's been left untouched. It's that little girl that hasn't started to turn into a younger woman. And, you know, you have to be careful, honey. Don't dress like that. Or don't... You know what I'm saying? It's very innocent, and this is not something that is shared easily. It's not shared easily, and it's not shared with many. If anyone that you've ever shared it with, to be honest. And what she holds in her hand is this, it's like a phoenix. I don't think it's like, it is like a phoenix, but it's only like a spark. It's literally just like a spark of a phoenix. It's not almost quite even tangible. So it's rebirthing something. I want to say too, perhaps even up to this point, there's parts of yourself that you've never communicated before. There's parts of yourself that you've never communicated before, or to anyone before. It's always been kept up under lock and key. So I kind of feel like something even might have happened to you when you were younger. And it doesn't have to have been like hugely traumatic, but just sort of even seeing things play out, other relationships play out around you, people, and keeping something really close, keeping something locked up. But I feel like you're coming to some sort of point here where you're feeling the imbalance yourself. You're feeling the imbalance of this, and perhaps it's a style of communication, a type of communication, or in a part of your life that you've not utilized it before. I don't really think it's been utilized down here. Okay, now we come up here to the page of air and the page of water. Oh, wow. Okay, check it out. We have two pages, which in itself is really significant that they sit right beside each other. But I think what's beautifully significant is what we were talking about, like this little girl inside of you. And not to say that little boys don't also have to be cautious of predator energy. I hope I'm kind of coming through with like it's the difference between women know that, well, I can't just go wherever I want, whenever I want, because that's not necessarily the smartest thing to do. Where, you know, it's pretty easy for a guy to just pick up a backpack and travel the world all by himself and not really think too much about where he's going. Women don't have that freedom. Well, you can do it, but you are taking a chance. You're consciously, or at least, well, maybe some of them are not consciously aware they're taking a chance. But that's that energy where that awareness is not there yet. It's that innocence. It's almost like, I want to call it like a 6 to 8 year old kind of personality where the world is, you're kind of becoming very much more aware of what's around you, and it's really exciting. And you haven't run into the boogeyman yet, like the real boogeyman. There's the one under your bed and behind in the closet at night when you're little. But actually, kind of as you grow out of that one, you sort of start to realize there's actually some real boogeyman, and you have to be careful. So the page of air and the page of water, gosh, this is like the transformation that you're feeling inside here. The wings have not been born yet. There's feathers sort of hanging around. There's no ability to fly and to take flight with this two of air. Whatever it is that you hold in your hand, this rebirth for yourself, comes from a very deep part of you. And it's a part of you that I don't think has ever come out the door, Leo. I don't think it's ever really come out the door. You're really working on it. I want to say you're going to have success here. The wings are here. The air energy finds the wings. The communication finds its wings. You find your wings, Leo. And then when you do, it's almost like you're hatching out all these little girls. They're like Russian dolls. They're like little Russian dolls inside you that are coming up. And then this one's not so shy. It's as if each Russian doll that you hatch out of you that has this little innocence, this childlike innocence. Oh, sorry. Now Lily's sneezing. Sorry, Lily. Does it go over there now? There's the transformation. There's the transformation. Okay, I feel like you've met the boogeyman. I feel like you've met the boogeyman, and whatever that is for you. In some part of your life, you've met the boogeyman. And the boogeyman has put the armor all over you. But where? Like, because the armor is, if it's not played right, if it's not used correctly, it kind of stops all of this from like exploring and growing. And it's realizing that, you know what? Once you've met the boogeyman, you have to get past the point where 99% of what you meet out there isn't the boogeyman. So that's the tricky part. And that's the little monkey brain inside us, the little reptilian, reactive, instinctive part that's still in there that says, oh, there could be a boogeyman. 99% of the time there won't be. So if you close all of this off, the person who's actually losing out here is you in finding this innocence to be tapped into again. And then here, and then we have like the grown woman again. That's what this is. So the outside part of you is almost like the masculine. I can't help but notice, I keep these in front of me now because I have them out for Fridays. I can't help but notice how much the beard reminds me of this like Leo. The artistic depiction of both of these remind me so much of Leo. It's the fierce leader, the experienced leader, the masculine part of you. Oh, and all the kings. So I've been studying like astrology and tarot. I've been combining that because I'm more of a tarot reader. So I'm delving a little bit deeper into astrology. And as I do that, I am also learning a lot more about the tarot itself. So I didn't realize this, but every king in the tarot harnesses the element of air. So they, regardless of the suit that they sit with, so they all harness the element of air. And then they combine that with the element that they're representing. So this would represent air and earth. Isn't that interesting? Because air is a prominent aspect of what's going on here for you. It has to do with communication. The King of Earth is a very warm personality. And you've created warmth here. You've really created warmth somehow. Not somehow, on some element in your life. Created warmth. I mean, this is where your reading ends with this card, with this Nine of Fire. I really like this card. It's really about like recreating dreams, putting the spark back into the things that you can dream about, because we have all these stars. It doesn't feel at all like the Nine of Wands. And that's what's really interesting about this deck. Some of these cards will feel a lot like the tarot that they represent. But that's also interesting, talking about how I'm exploring astrology. And through doing that is also finding new ways or new information that's locked behind these cards. And this is also just to lock something different, unlock something different out. Unlock something different out here. Oh, and so all of the queens also harness the element of water. So they all have water in combination with whatever other element they represent. Oh, she herself is a fairy. I never noticed that before. She has these long fairy, like elfin ears. You are, it looks like to me, hatching out your ability to communicate on a new level here. And it's something that feels like it might have been closed off or triggered to close off, to go behind closed doors because of something like some sort of boogeyman. And the boogeyman can be, well, really, it's kind of like something didn't appear to be what it was. You know, usually the boogeyman has a way of kind of trying to pull you in. So the boogeyman will try to pull you in with a certain personality or circumstance or lure. And then you go in and go, whoa. And that kind of gets the defenses up. So something, and it could be something very simple or it could be something very big in your life. It's caused that to happen. And it's trying to get this little girl to come out again. Ooh, the Nine of Earth is at the bottom. Oh, I never realized that before. She looks like a pussycat. And what is she in the nine? Oh, I don't know if it focuses as well. Do you see? She's got like fuzzy ears and her nose. Maybe it's hard to see on here, but it is that of like a cat. But with wings, with the butterfly wings. You're going through a transformation. Okay, so whatever you're even doing here that's, you know, it kind of shows the big, powerful, strong you. But underneath the surface, there's an innocence that's been tucked away. That's what I would say, yeah. There's an innocence about you that's been tucked away here, and it's trying to find the right key. And the right key really, I'm telling you, I can't hang on to anything or do anything right now. I'm so clumsy. The right key is you're the only one that can find it, for sure. I mean, that's absolutely true here. I think you hold it in your hand already. You hold it in your, oh my God, you're holding it all in your hand. You have it all in your hand. Everything you need is in your hand right now. I'm so, and you know, it's funny because I'm saying that, and as a tarot reader, I have all this in my hand right now because she holds this hope of spring. She holds the hope of rebirth. She holds the hope of justice, and she holds the hope of dreams. Oh my God, so cool. She holds the hope of dreams. She holds the hope of justice. She holds the hope of rebirth, and she holds the hope of spring. Down here. She who yearns, longing, and pine for. Oh, look at that. And she who doubts is underneath. Fear, wariness, and trust. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like this, like, I met a boogeyman, and I'm not, It kind of reminds me of when I was little. There was a bad man. I was me and another, it wasn't really a friend. I had to stick around with him because no one else to play with. It was back in the day, and actually it was, I grew up not far from the Jane and Finch area. And anyone who's familiar with Toronto, it's not the best place to grow up in. It wasn't as bad back in the 70s as it became. I think it's a tiny bit better than it was. But there was a guy trying to get us to come over to his car, and we couldn't have been very old. Back then, like, kids just ran around. We weren't aware of the boogeyman, or our parents really weren't. And he tried to get us to get into the car with him. We couldn't have been more than 5. I think we were maybe 5. We were playing in the little parking lot area of our apartment building, and we couldn't have been more than 5. And the boy that I was with, his name was Jamie. He was the same age as me, or a year older. And he was going to get in. And I said right away, don't do it. I just knew. I just sort of had that instinct. But I really think to myself, if I wasn't there, I bet you he would have got in the car. And anyways, why? Yeah. And then that kind of clued me into realizing not everybody you talk to is going to be good for you. And sort of like a wariness. I really think about that too. And I think, you know, if I hadn't been there, I'm sure Jamie would have got in that car with that man. So it's like, that's what this feels like. You know, some sort of discovery that not everything is going to work out real well, or not everything is always going to be as it appears on the surface. There could be something deeper here. And being like a little, this has come out a couple times since I've been doing the readings, like a little bit gun shy. A little bit gun shy. And the armor's gone up, right? Like I was every time. If everyone, I think even now, if anyone asks me for directions, I'm not getting too close to their car. I don't know you. It's like that armor. It's that instant. It only takes one time, right? It only has to be 1% of the experience that's enough to say, well, this has to do with survival. It's very important. But my God, you're holding it all in your hands. And look at, she's holding here. See, there's something you've created where you've already got a massive, if it's not massive abundance, with the King of Earth, the Sun, and the 10 of Earth, certainly on its way to that. But there's a different element here. There's the deeper part of who you are that actually has everything you need in your hands at this point. And it's just sort of letting the armor come down a little bit at a time. Learning how you can trust and what you can trust and who you can trust, I guess, yeah. Oh, I'm really glad I did it like that. It felt kind of cool. I like that sort of reading, Leo. And I kind of like being able to go deep into you guys like that. So thank you for allowing me to do the depths of a reading like this. Yeah, I'm going to go do the extended. I'm leaving it completely open. I'm just going to see where we go from there. So until next time. Do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.